Alright everyone, there's a chance that Araki just told us what the strongest stands in JoJo are. Recently, Araki has done something incredible, making art for the public. And in this public art, he revealed that the stands mentioned are ranked by strength. But what does this even mean? Let's find out together. Examining this picture reveals a lot that we can tell. First of all, this art is peak fiction. This artwork is just so amazing. It's truly great to see how beautiful of an artist Araki is. This guy never fails to create peak after every new drawing. This is Araki's new art called the Fountain Boy. This was created to be based off of the original Fountain Boy sculpture that was there for 103 years beforehand. But Araki gave his own JoJo spin and recreated the character with added JoJo elements. So yeah, just first off, this guy has nothing to do with JoJo. He is just a Fountain Boy. He's not some secret character that will show up in JoJo lands or the part 10 protagonist or anything. He has nothing to do with JoJo yet. I will say that there are some things about this art piece that are a bit weird. I'm not sure what's going on with the ear over here, and a bit of the line art is a bit strange. It's most likely due to the fact that this artwork is displayed in glass, and it was upscaled from the original size that Araki actually drew the artwork on. So I hope that we could get a high detailed version of the art really soon, so that we can truly appreciate what Araki has done. Alright. Now let's get into JoJo's. Right above the Fountain Boy, we see a lot of fun JoJo stands. November Rain at the top, Star Platinum and Killer Queen right below them, and right below those, towards the sides, we have Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap and Tusk Act 1. And then in between those, we have Stone Free and Gold Experience. First of all, yes, this is November Rain. You do not know how many people I have seen who thought that this was Hierophant Green for some reason. Dude, Araki probably forgot what Hierophant Green even is. This is just so obviously November Rain to me. I mean, I guess it could be seen due to the color, but a lot of frauds have been showing their colors by thinking this is Hierophant Green. That's all I'm saying. I just don't see what context someone could possibly have to think that this is Hierophant Green, but that's just me, to be honest. Like, yo, read JoJo Lands. It's amazing right now. The people in my Discord server would definitely not make this mistake. So when it comes to the 7 stands that are in this piece of artwork, Araki has stated that the reasoning for November Rain to be there was due to the element of this being a drawing of a fountain boy, that he thought the raindrops and the water that associated with November Rain would fit well in there. Now, this is a complete blanket explanation for why November Rain is all the way at the top, but this is completely cap, Araki. We know that you're lying. It's pretty obvious that November Rain is going to become the strongest stand in JoJo history, and this artwork, despite your words, has further proven this theory. Araki is quite the menace, so this is something that is 100% factual. Araki is just making a random excuse here. However, for the other 6 stands, he says that they are ordered in terms of strength. Huh? Okay, Araki, you are saying they are ordered in strength. What's the order? You have to explain these things. There's no order into this picture. The stands are just placed seemingly randomly. Okay. We have to break this down. So the main issues that could be found with this statement are which stands Araki is talking about and what the order precisely is. Before I go into this, I should mention that this is not Araki saying that these are the top 6 stands in all of JoJo. He's just saying that these specific 6 stands are ranked in the order of his strength and power. The main issue with all of this is that there are many stands here that have evolutions or other abilities, or both. Those being D4C also having Love Train, Tusk Act 1 having these 3 other parts, Golden Experience also including Requiem, and Star Platinum even getting the time stop ability later on, although that one is a bit iffy. So honestly, I think it might be best to look at both possibilities, except for Star Platinum. I mean, he kind of always had time stop, weren't really sure about that. Since Araki is only listing these in their base forms, it is a bit hard to tell. especially with Tusk Act 1 being there. If he has any other Tusk Act there, then it would make sense to be directly in these forms that Araki is ordering by strength. But to me, Tusk Act 1 just makes it seem like Araki could also be talking about potential here. Alright, so let's think of some sort of list that could come up with this. At first, my mind came up with some sort of circular order. I think there's one thing that's certain. Star Platinum has to be at the top of this list, or at least in the top half. I know that if you consider stuff like Gur, Tusk Act 4, and Love Train, it gets a bit hazy up there. But right now, Star Platinum is the strongest base form stand on this list, since Time Stop was something that Jotaro has always had. So yeah, if we go by that, a great list would be Star Platinum, then D4C, then Stone Free, then Gold Experience, then Tusk Act 1, and lastly is Killer Queen. Okay, yeah, this list has a few issues. While Star Platinum over normal D4C could be pretty debatable, in my opinion, I think Star Platinum is definitely stronger. Star Platinum just feels way too fast for me, and the time stop ability does seem to overpower, you know, going into a different dimension, just because it seems like Star Platinum could do everything first. Stone Free versus Gold Experience is a bit of a toss-up, but I could certainly see reasoning to put Stone Free above base Gold Experience, especially when you consider the sheer creativity you can do with your body with Stone Free in a faster manner than Gold Experience can realistically do. But Tusk Act 1 is above Killer Queen? With Killer Queen being at the bottom of the list, it is certainly fishy. Killer Queen, the stand of the main villain of part 4, being underneath a stand that is literally just a gun, a weak gun at that. You're telling me a one-hit KO bomb is weaker than a pistol? Araki is definitely acting strange here. Killer Queen being weaker than Stone Free and Gold Experience itself is a bit strange as well, for similar reasons. Honestly, I think that Araki might not be putting an exact order here. I like to think of it as tiers. Notice how Star Platinum and Killer Queen have green backgrounds, D4C and Tusk have blue backgrounds, and Stone Free and Gold Experience have black backgrounds. Not only this, but the green stands are the largest, the blue stands are middle-sized, and the black stands are the smallest. Maybe Araki didn't put an exact order, but instead put a tier list of sorts. What if Araki is trying to say that Star Platinum and Killer Queen are the strongest stands here? Then it's D4C and Tusk, and then last is Stone Free and Gold Experience. That order honestly could make a lot of sense. I know it might be weird to have stuff like D4C and Tusk below Star Platinum, but honestly Star Platinum is absolutely busted, and I could see why Araki would put these guys below Star Platinum. But Killer Queen is one that some people would find very weird. Killer Queen overall, no matter the list, is seemingly looking very strange. Actually, what is it even doing here? What's D4C doing here? For something being pure as a fountain, you'd think Araki would choose more of his main characters' stands rather than these villain stands. Well, Araki actually explained this himself. He says that he drew this art for the hope that it would bring healing, hope, and good fortune for those who pass the spot. This explains a lot for D4C to me. I mean, with luck and stuff, that's obviously a reference to D4C Love Train, and the hope represents Valentine's own ideals. I mean, after all, his heart and actions are utterly unclouded. They are all those of justice. But Kira? And not Josuke? Josuke's stand is all about healing people. The complete opposite of what Araki is looking for with Killer Queen. So why is Killer Queen here? Like, you have a stand that heals people, and you didn't include it in your fountain drawing? Come on. Well, dear viewers, I have an answer that is honestly quite simple. We must move away from the filthy version of Kira and move to the GOAT himself, Yoshikage Kira from Part 8 Jojolion. That is right, I can talk about my favorite JoJo character after a very long time, and for a serious reason. Part 8 Killer Queen and Yoshikage Kira are 100% characters that would fit well in here. Yoshikage Kira in Part 8 is an extremely good person, and definitely fits all of the healing, hope, and good fortune, as he is a good doctor who has saved lives using Killer Queen. Also, this could be fairly heavily debated, but Part 8 Killer Queen that we see is far stronger than the one in part 4. Its stand ability is essentially the stray cat and killer queen bombs it had already with it. No need to have an extra stand in its system. It's already superior in that way, like it already comes with the stray cat bubbles. And also with being able to summon multiple sheer heart attacks and changing their size, the killer queen we see in JoJolion is way stronger and shown to be more powerful. But it begs the question, is this stand really strong enough for Araki to put above D4C and Tusk Act 4? Like come on. It might be Killer Queen, but he's no dimensional destroyer, right? Objection! That's actually not true. Astute JoJolion viewers, and by that I mean the 9.5% of my audience who are subscribed to my channel and hit that bell notification, would know that Killer Queen's abilities actually turn into Soft and Wet's abilities. It was said multiple times in the series that Soft and Wet's bubbles and stand abilities as a whole were just like Kira's, and Soft and Wet is indeed a really powerful stand. Yes, even above the likes of D4C Love Train and Tusk Act 4. So why did Araki choose to put Killer Queen here instead of just Soft and Wet straight up? Well, maybe Araki just didn't have enough space to fit every single part of JoJo here, and so he used Killer Queen as a nice bridge to connect part 4 and part 8. Or maybe it's due to part 8 not being as popular as other JoJo parts. Either way, I think there is an intention coming from Araki to have Killer Queen in here of all stands to choose from part 4 and part 8. So if you want to go through all of these processes, then it is accurate to say that the order that Araki is trying to put here has Star Platinum and Killer Queen under Soft and Wet at the top, with D4C and Tusk up next, and Stone Free and Gold Experience at the bottom. Maybe Araki is really trying to tell us that Gold Experience Requiem isn't all that, and that the community has been overrating his ability for years. There's still a lot of questions, and that puts me to the final verdict of this video. Yo, Araki is trolling the shit out of us. Yeah, I think Araki is just talking here, and he doesn't really care for the reasonings for why he put the stands in that certain order. And I mean, this video is a great example. If I just talked about the artwork, this would just be a 3-minute video. But because of this one statement from Araki, this video's length increased by over 10 minutes just with speculation. Araki is a grade A troll, and that's honestly really proved with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure as a series. Araki was probably trying to tell us that he doesn't care too much about power, that he finds the act of ranking stands in power as arbitrary, since a lot of stands are fairly one note in abilities and are just so different from each other that a lot of stand interactions would just end up being really weird. Araki is just here to tell amazing stories, and we should get to appreciate that instead of thinking about hyper-specific powers of all his stands. Except there's one thing that I find to be absolutely true. Like, we can admit that November Rain is the strongest stand, right? I mean, it's literally towering above the stands of past main characters and villains. It has this supreme aura to it that Araki is definitely a jokester, and he's secretly showing that November Rain will be the #1 stand of all time. And speaking of ranking stands, watch this video of mine where I rank a couple JoJo stands. This was pretty fun.